It's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Haley.
Welcome everyone to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is the place where we get real about topics not often discussed openly. Each week on Unmasked Real Talk Live, we give you an opportunity to share your thoughts and opinions about the topic we unmask. You have our permission, yes, you do, to get real with us here so that you can feel better, look better, and live better out there. Now, today, as you may see, I am by myself. My partner, Cheryl Hurley, isn't with me. She isn't well, so please pray for her. But as my producer said, I am not alone. I have you all, the listening audience. I have my producer, and I have my special guest, and I'll get to him in a moment. Recall, we started something new with the raffle. So today's raffle is an autographed copy, again, of Dr. Renee Ellison's new book, Fake to Phenomenal: 8 Secrets to Abandon Inauthenticity and Embrace Self-Discovery. As you may know, for those of you who are regulars with us, we have been on this authenticity trip for a while because it is such an important thing to master. All right, it's going to set you free in so many ways. And we're going to talk about one way to be set free today with our special guest. Now, last week's challenge was a fun Live Better challenge. The challenge was to write 5 words that described your authentic self. Now, we noticed that there were no posts, only to discover that, well, we as in the administrators, failed to post the challenge. So we apologize for that, but no worries, because we are going to post it this week and you will have a chance to share your 5 words. I am so delighted and ecstatic that you are here with me for part 2 of what he, not she, shared last week. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my guest today in a second, but please remember to post your comments below as we unmask today's topic. Ask your questions. So our special guest, Reginald Hurley, may I say Minister Reginald Hurley, can join us in laser coaching you as we go along. Last week's topic was take the mask off so he can see you. Today, part 2, we're going to explore deeper into take the mask off so he can see you. But before that, let's think about this quote. One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others would want you to be rather than being yourself. That's Shannon L. Adler. So let me ask you ladies this question. Are you hiding your authentic self from a potential partner or a current partner or hope to have a partner one day? Are you afraid to show the real you to him? In this part 2, I'm going to continue my dynamic conversation that we started last week with special guest, Minister Reginald Hurley. And you will hear his wisdom about why a woman's authenticity brings out the best in men. And I want to ask him, does that mean her inauthenticity brings out the worst in him? So everybody, please give it up for my special guest, Minister Reginald Hurley. Reggie, say hello to everybody, please.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good enough, right? Pretty simple and to the point. So let's get right into it. I want to actually start with a contrary question. And
Okay.
that is, before we get to the unmasked question, and that is, if a woman's, first of all, let me back up. I do want you to comment. Do you believe that a woman's authenticity can bring out the best in a man? And if so, is the reverse true, that a woman's inauthenticity or her fakeness can bring out the worst in a man? What say you, Reverend Hurley?
I believe that a man only sees what you offer up to him. So if you're offering um, somebody that's not you, then you haven't really shown yourself to your man. On last week, I talked about um, a guy that met a girl. They had 3 kids, and she decided to revert back to her real self.
Mm.
When he saw her, he didn't know that person, so therefore they split. Now, men don't mature at the same rate as women. See, a mature man would have sat her down and talked to her about, what was going on in their relationship.
Mhm.
But you can't expect that out of every man. Men usually don't mature, and I'm going to get beat up for this, but men usually don't mature until after in their late 50s to 60 years old, and even if then, um, their understanding is shallow because they just matured into manhood. Now, I know a lot of women are going, what? See, when you go out and get yourself a young boy and you present yourself as a young girl, you kick your maturity to the curb. When the man really wants you to show the real you, because most men evaluate women on the strength of them helping them. And I believe that women do the same thing about men. Do you agree?
Well, that's interesting because it sounds to me like the woman is the one who wants to help and fix the man, and the man is looking for the woman to help and fix, air quotes, you can see, fix him. Are you? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. The Bible says that.
Okay, so that means that to speak to the maturity or um, lack of maturity compared to a woman, that the lack of maturity of a man is that he's looking at what can she do for me. I mean, until he becomes more of a mature man, whether in the Lord or just in chronological age, it
Mhm.
sounds like it's what can she do for me, which is a dependence on the woman for what she brings to the table, not so much what he brings to the table.
Absolutely. Listen, a man could make $1 million and they could, quote unquote, be on top of the world, condos, the whole 9 yards. But if he's immature in his mind, he needs somebody to push him or nudge him in the direction that he should go. That's why the Bible calls it a woman a help meet, not a helper, a help meet. That means that she's meeting the needs for the inconsistency of that man.
Oh,
Basically, men are hunters, gatherers, right, and builders.
uh-huh.
What's missing out of that equation? Thinkers. Women are mature already and they think things through, where men are more, what's the word I'm looking for? Excitable. They go on hunches and urges and whatnot.
Okay, so let me tell you, this is Real Talk Live, right?
Yeah.
So let me get real. And I'm speaking, I guess, from being a single woman here. What you just said is exhausting to me. Like, I got to be the woman that brings you along, that helps you mature, that has to be the one that you look to in terms of what can she do for me. That is exhausting. It's like, dude, grow up and become the better self, become your better version of yourself so we can really have a relationship. And
And that
that
is
was
the reason why most women need to be authentic and careful inside themselves. You have to be strong enough to be yourself so you can affect change around you. If you're trying to run with the crowd, then all he sees in you is the crowd. Oh yeah, did you see her hairdo, her eyelashes, her enhancements, right? Everybody does that. But until you show your spirit, right, your mental prowess, what have you really shown him? That you can look good, that you can dress it up. See, it's sad, but most of the world is based on looks and sex. When there's so much more. On last week, I talked about a friend of mine that most people would have said, "Oh, she's not a well-looking woman."
Yeah.
But and I started to use her name, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But she ended up well because she always stayed to herself, and just like the scriptures say, a man found her in the place where she was at in herself. She was comfortable in her own skin. You know, it may sound exhausting that you have to show yourself to a man as one that can help him, but quiet as it's kept, most men don't know how to help themselves. They know how to make money. They know how to make money. They know how to build. They know how to hunt. They know how to get food. You know, they know how to gather. But what about the mind part? You understand what I'm saying?
That's really interesting, that the truth be told, that men don't know how to help themselves. Do you mean that more in the emotional sense? Because women are naturally wired to be in tuned emotionally, which really is a strength, not a weakness, as some would think.
Absolutely.
So are you saying that men don't know how to help themselves really in the emotional space? That's just not where they excel like the way women do.
Well, that depends. Can I use myself as an example?
You can.
When I first met my wife, I was boisterous, I was a ruffian, I was a bully, I was conceited. I thought that every woman wanted me and all of this kind of stuff. But because my wife had such a strong personality, and because she never altered who she was in front of me, made me make the decision that this is the person that I want to be with. Because I don't want to look up next week and you got, and I'm not talking about everybody, but you got blonde hair and blue eyelids and all that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's fine in this place. If you're going out, hey, have at it. But at home, when the wig comes off, the eyelashes come off, right? You wake up in the morning and you got bad breath and all that kind of stuff like that. How is he going to react? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the surface value of who we are, right? Women kind of run the world in reality, because what happens is, the truth be told, women do have a sixth sense, and their sixth sense is spirituality, a more stable mindset, right? And science even backs me up in that, because they say that women reach their maturity somewhere between 16 and 18 years old. Now, the world has placed them in a different place, because, we're in a world of twerking, big butts, and all of this other kind of stuff, which really doesn't do anything for anybody except for eye candy to the immature man. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. And I want to go back for a moment because you
Okay.
said something in your story about you and your wife, now your wife, that made me want to raise this question, which is, so your wife showed who she was. That really elevated you to be a better man, it sounds like. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then the reverse of that came to mind, which is that, does that mean, I'm going to assume, in your wife being her authentic self, she was attractive to you, right? So I'm guessing, is it true that a woman who is not her authentic self with him is actually in a way a turnoff? Actually in a way not attractive when she's not her authentic self?
I'm gonna give you my own statistic on that.
Okay.
This is my statistic.
Uh-huh.
9 times out of 10, and for a lot of my friends, they went out, they dated the fast girls and all that kind of stuff like that. But when the pedal hit the metal, they ended up marrying the homely girl. Why did that happen?
Mm.
Because they didn't really want that lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? It's not with men, and they don't realize it themselves. I realized it when I turned about, I'm gonna say about 26, 27. That it's not about, um, how big your chest are, how curvy you are, or anything about that. It's how our minds mesh in the throes of this thing called life. You know, and
Wow.
yeah, I know that's a deep concept, but it's the truth. Most men say, I want the Kardashians, right? When in reality, you know, they're really looking for Regina King or what's her name, Viola Davis. You know
It's,
what I mean?
yeah. So pretty on the outside doesn't necessarily mean authentic on the inside.
No, it doesn't. Generally, if a woman goes out of their way to make themselves all dolled up, a man is looking for what. Once they get past all of that, they're looking for who they really are.
Mm.
And that's why, just like the question say, you have to learn who you are. You you have to accept who you've become, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to take teach yourself to be the woman that you need to be. Because just like men, we're women are affected by society and what the what's the word they use, the current trend or fad or whatever this is. Because I believe that the eyelash thing will pass. I think I believe that the weave thing will pass, right?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Um,
I said,
I'm not
oh
saying
no.
that it's wrong, but I'm gonna make you laugh real quick. For me, in the 70s, I wore platform shoes, plaid bell bottoms, and a high boy shirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be caught dead in that now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So perceptions change over time,
I
right?
get you. But
Only thing the only thing that does not change is the real, and I mean coin your word, authentic you.
yeah. Yeah.
You can never change that. You can put stuff on top of it, but it's always there. It's underlying.
Well, let's get to the unmasked question, which we've kind of already talked about a little bit. And that unmasked question is, how can you let the real you bring out the best in him? This is the question for everyone watching. How can you let the real you bring out the best in him. And we would love to hear you who are watching comment here, and then we'll throw it out to Reverend Hurley to respond. And so one person already says, do not compromise. Ooh, this is how this person believes you can let the real you bring out the best in him, is do not compromise. Ooh, that's a good one. Because we women can do that all day long. Compromise, acquiesce, give up, give in, even when it's not to our best.
I think it's more of it's more of a trust thing. That's the third word in that in your latitude as being a woman. And in your latitude as being a man. You have to trust who you are. A lot of people do not trust who they are. They won't accept that this is me in the skin that I'm in. Right?
Yeah.
I saw a woman who had very long hair, but she got alopecia. She lost all her hair. Oh, man, she cut her hair. She went bald. Her notoriety shot through the ceiling. She didn't put a wig on. She wore her natural hair, and she became a natural type woman. Men get excited about that. They do. I mean, it's a natural fact of life that I would rather, right? It's like having a steak and putting mayonnaise and mayonnaise and Worcestershire sauce and all of that crap on the steak. You really can't taste the steak because it's covered up.
Yeah. I get you. I get you. And I'm looking at the time, Reverend Reggie, and I know it goes by so fast. So let me first acknowledge some of the comments, and then if you take us through the 3 takeaways. I'm just going to acknowledge the comments, and then if you could give us the 3 takeaways. So we've got people who say, someone said, I love eyelashes. Me too, girl. The Spirit says the same. Do not compromise. Be your authentic self. Walk in the light of confidence. Yes. And great analogy. Okay. So Reverend Reg, can you take us through the 3 takeaways, and then we'll get to the raffle?
Okay. The first takeaway is learn to love the real you. Good, bad, even ugly. The second takeaway is accept that you do not have to settle for something that does not honor the real you. And that's big time important. Because if you get a bank robber and you don't believe in stealing and you don't believe, then y'all really shouldn't be together. You shouldn't have him just for the sake of having a man. The scripture talks about being evenly yoked with a partner. Now, it's hard to change a leopard into a tiger.
Yeah.
You need a lot of paint to do that. So, and let me go to the third one real quick.
Yes, do that.
This is the one that I really like. It says, trust that the goals and dreams that you set out to accomplish are worthwhile. That end part,
yes,
we make a lot of decisions on things that we see going on around us, but are they worthwhile? Is it worthwhile, having a man that's up in age with his pants hanging down around his butt? Just being as real as I can with you. Is that worthwhile? If you want to be married, is that what you want at the end of the day?
Right.
Okay. Now to flip that, right? When you get home with that man, you got to take off the weave at some point. You got to take the eyelashes off at some point. You have to take the paint off at some point.
Yeah.
Have you accomplished what you set out to do? Or do you have to, do you have, this is the question, or do you have to put that mask back on every time that man looks at you?
My. Now that's the question. That's the question. And we're gonna let people comment because we gotta go to the raffle. Let's hit the raffle.
Okay.
I'm gonna let our Kayla take it away. Woo! Yay! All right. We're going to ask you to be so kind us your mailing address so we can get that book out to you, please. Reverend Hurley, this has been an incredible second conversation. And here's what I want to know. Would you be willing to come back one more time? And we're going to talk about authenticity. And I want to actually probe into the fear of being one's true self when it comes to the male-female relationship. What's the fear? Joseph Campbell said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And I want to just talk about the fear that rumbles around in our heads and our minds and our hearts that keep us from being our authentic self and how to move past that and find the love that we've been all waiting for, that you already have.
The problem that goes on most times, and I'm going to say this real fast, is they're caught in the cage of what will they think?
Okay, don't give any more away. Don't give any more away. Because that was good right there. Reverend Hurley, I want to thank you so much for joining us on UnMasked Real Talk Live. Ladies and gentlemen who are out there, we will see you again next week. Don't forget to come back because Reverend Hurley is going to be with us again to break it down, break the fear down. See you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
And you can say that I'm crazy,